guys, so today we're going to be starting our wedding series. So I'm here with my fiance, Christian. So we decided to do a wedding series, which is actually requested by one of my subscribers, so thank you. I thought it was a great idea. We're going to kind of turn this into a series throughout our entire engagement, show you guys how we picked out our venue, a DIY planner video that I want to put together, talk you guys through our ring shopping, wedding dress shopping, flower choices, color choices, the whole 9 yards. So we're really excited to start that, but today for the first episode, I wanted to kind of have you guys officially meet my fiance, and we're going to talk about our proposal, how Christian proposed, and how our engagement went down. And I'm really excited for Christian to be here to tell you guys his story because he tells it way better than I do.
No.
So I know that this is a super popular question amongst like anybody who's engaged is, oh, how did he propose? When did you get engaged? So just a quick run through. We have been engaged for almost 6 months now. Yeah, the 17th. We got engaged on May 17th, 2013. So we got engaged on May 17th, 2013, and like I said, it's been about 6 months now. It is the 9th today, so almost there, and yeah.
I think we first started talking about getting married in December of 2012. I think that's when it was. It might have even been earlier than that. It might have been like November.
I don't know.
But I knew that I was eventually going to propose about December, early December, because I know that my first thought was, oh, I could, I went through a bunch of different ideas on how to propose, and I juggled a bunch of different ones, and a lot were in one ear and out the other because they were too ridiculous. Like the first one that I thought, I was like, oh, so since Christmas is in 3 weeks, I'll get her a ring and I'll get her a puppy and I'll tie the ring around the puppy's neck. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Why didn't you do that?
And then I realized that would probably freak her out because I didn't know if she would even necessarily say yes at this point. I mean, we had talked about getting married, but it wasn't necessarily like an everyday kind of thing. I didn't know whether she wanted to be engaged. We had been dating for less than a year at this point, so
yeah, like, well, over a year dating, but just less than a year like officially as a couple.
Yeah, so I don't want to freak her out or anything, and I'm pretty patient as far as that goes, so threw that one out the window. Then went through a bunch of other ones, bunch of ridiculous ones. One that I juggled for a little while was I play guitar, and I was thinking that I was gonna get my my acoustic electric guitar and a tiny little portable amp, and I was gonna either cover a song or I was gonna write a song, or I was gonna throw pebbles at her window until she looked out, and then I was gonna sing her this whole song and then get down on one knee and propose from outside the window. So that one, I actually honestly considered that for a little while, like probably about a month. I was like trying to figure out how I was gonna work this out, and I was like, you know what, this is bad.
What if I never came to the window?
See, there's some other things that could go wrong. There's stuff that can go wrong in any way you're gonna do. Anyways, so I decided that how I wanted to. I created a Pinterest. I don't think I ever actually told her this. I knew that she had like joked around with her friends about how if anybody ever wanted to like create the perfect proposal, if anybody ever wanted to create the perfect proposal, they could just go off of her Pinterest and like look at like the rings that she posted and like stuff like that. So this is tying in a little bit to our ring experience, but I decided I created a Pinterest, and she knew that I did, but I actually created it solely for that reason, so I could follow her.
I thought you did it for like recipes. And
then just look at her stuff. And that was basically it.
Not that I was secretive about it or anything, like.
Yeah, I guess, but I needed to be. I didn't want to be like so what ring did you want again? Like,
yeah.
you know, like what, if you could tell me 5 things that you would like about a proposal, what would they be? Because at this point I was still trying to make it a surprise. And eventually it got to the point where it wasn't really a surprise anymore. So I tried to make it as surprise filled as I possibly could after. I mean, it was to the point where she knew I was going to propose at some point. She knew what ring she was getting. She just didn't necessarily know when she was gonna get it.
Yeah.
But
I had no idea when you were gonna propose.
I was a little bit bummed out about that, but it was definitely worth it, and I feel like I did pretty well with surprises.
Yeah.
Making it a surprise.
Well, okay, and I'm glad that you didn't like get up and buy a ring all by yourself. I mean, some girls would like that, but I liked being there to pick it out and go shopping with you.
Yeah, if I had picked it up all by myself,
you would pick the wrong one.
It would not have been perfect. So after going through her Pinterest, one of the things that I did decide was that I wanted to do a secret photographer, like somebody hiding. And what I had originally pictured was like somebody wearing like a ghillie suit and like some binoculars, hiding in the bushes, like snapping pictures.
I'm
with,
sure
like,
there's someone who does. I'm sure.
A sniper scope from like 100 yards away. So I was like, man, this is gonna be crazy. I gotta find somebody that can do this. So as I was ring shopping, this is before that we went ring shopping together. This is before she even knew that I was looking for a ring. I was going to a few local Utah places, and I mean, they ask you like how you're planning on proposing. So in passing, I talk about how I was gonna do a secret photographer, and they suggested some companies to me that I had looked online, and they're so expensive. And
those are probably your sniper.
Yeah.
People.
And I know that photography is expensive as it goes. Like no matter what, you're gonna be paying a lot. So I kind of took that into account, but I didn't necessarily want to pay $900 for a single shooting where we're gonna get 20 pictures. I mean, it's definitely worth it. I was thinking about it when we finally found the place that we were going to buy the ring from, and when we finally found the ring, I had gone in there several times without her to talk to them about it and different things that I needed with it. Even after we had selected the actual ring, because there's just other customized stuff that I wanted on it. And I had just talked to him about it, and one of the ladies that had helped me several times suggested, she was like, you know, there's a lot of moms out there who have a really, really nice camera and know how to use it, and they're not going to charge you a whole lot, like just look around. So I was like, all right. And my mom plays this game, she gambles, so.
I think some of them will know. I don't know, it's a Utah thing, I swear.
Yeah, it's called Bunko. So it's
like a ladies' night. She
suggested one of this ladies that she plays Bunko with who had a really nice camera. And so I talked to her back and forth, and I decided that I was gonna go with her because she seemed like she really knew what she was doing. She was in photography school, and because of that she had access to all the school's equipment, and they had really, really nice equipment, so I liked that. Really, really long lenses. With like a great zoom and everything, and she was towards the end of her photography school, so she had a lot of experience with it, so I was pretty excited about that. And then it came time to decide where exactly I wanted to propose. When it came down to it, I decided that we were going to do it at Daybreak Park, because we used to go on walks there when we first started dating, so I felt like I wanted the proposal. I mean, when you're proposing, it has meaning to it, obviously, but I wanted like everything about it to have a special meaning to it. So I decided on that. I decided on where we were gonna go. I found my photographer. The ring was working on happening, so I finally got the ring. I believe it was April 19th. Which is kind of funny because I had it for about a month without her even knowing about it.
No idea.
Everything was kind of up in the air until the day I picked up my ring, and then I was like, I gotta get this going. So that day I kind of just set everything up all at once, really. So So I decided that I wanted to take her on a really nice date, go to a really, really fancy restaurant, and it was tough because I still wanted it to be a surprise. And at this point, she did know what ring she was getting.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tough because I didn't want her, like, right after we had purchased the ring, or actually she didn't know that I had bought it yet, but she knew that that was what ring she knew that that was the ring that she was getting. So I didn't want her to, like, a couple weeks after we decide what ring she's getting, I take her out on this fancy date, like, she's automatically gonna be thinking, like, oh, he's gonna propose.
I knew that it was, like, on hold because you told them that, like, to save the ring for us, because it was a custom ring that, like, they found and they were saving it, and they called us and were like, hey, we have a ring for you. So I knew that, like, he was holding it and reserving it, but then he kept telling me that there was all these problems with it. Like, he kept telling me that, like, because we were having, like, adjustments done, and he kept saying that there was complications. So I was like, I'm never getting engaged.
Yes. So I called her friend that she was gonna go hang out with, and knowing that her friend cannot keep a secret, especially to her, she'll just tell me.
She's a good friend.
I told her friend that I explained to her friend that I knew when I was gonna propose, and I said I was gonna propose on her birthday, which is in early June, even though I was gonna propose a couple weeks before that. So I told her friend that I was gonna propose early June, but that I needed her to convince Maddie that I wasn't going to propose until the 4th of July. And so I figured, like, regardless of how this plays out, it's going to help me out. Regardless of whether her friend is able to convince her that it's going to be the 4th of July, or whether she spills the beans and says it's going to be her birthday, regardless, it's going to be before that. So I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome.
Okay, so Allie, you guys have met Allie, if you follow me at all. Then, yeah, she can't keep a secret. She's just so cute about it. But, I don't know what happened. We were texting, like, the whole time I was there, and I was thinking it was going to happen on my birthday. And she was like, well, I'm not supposed to say anything, but let's just say the 4th of July is going to be really great or something. Like, she said it really, like, scripted and weird, and I was like, okay. But I was like, when's it like, do you know, like, has he talked to you? Like, so I knew, like, they had been talking. I knew something was going on, but I don't know. I did not think it was going to happen till, like, my birthday or later, though.
I was hoping that that Maddie would steal Allie's phone and, like, look through her texts and see that I was like, oh, no. I'm going to do it on her birthday, you know, so that didn't happen. But anyways,
that didn't happen.
I get a call from Fred Meyer, that's where we got the ring from, and they said it's ready, and this is April 19th, so I was like, okay, sweet. I had that day off of work, so I drove down there, I picked it up, and it looked absolutely perfect. And I was so excited, and threw it in the back of my car, and okay, I didn't throw it in the back of my car. I threw it in the passenger seat of my car.
Threw it in the trunk.
And I was so excited, and it's in this really, really fancy Fred Meyer bag, and it's in this inside the bag. It's in the really, really fancy Fred Meyer box. It's all gift wrapped and everything, already all set up for me. So I was so excited, and she had texted me a little bit before that, and she was telling me to come over. So I was like, okay, I'll be over in a minute, you know. So I drive straight over to her house, and I was picking her up. I don't remember what we were gonna go do. We were gonna go eat or something. And as I'm, like, texting her, telling her to come outside, I realized, or I was telling her that I was here, I realized that I have this Fred Meyer bag in my passenger seat. I was like, oh crap. So I hurried and threw it in the trunk real quick, and I was just ecstatic that whole night, because I was just thinking, like, I've got her ring in the back of my car and she has no idea. Like, this is awesome. I was laughing. I want to say, I don't actually remember 100%. So I want to say that it was for her lunch break that this was going on.
I have no idea. I didn't even know you had the ring, babe. I don't know what's going on.
I think it was lunch break. At the time I was donating plasma anyways. So after the lunch break, I had the ring, and I was scared that, like, everybody knew that I had this ring in my car and they were gonna steal it. So I took the ring out, like, took it out of the package and put it in my pocket. as I was donating plasma. I actually showed, it's kind of funny, I don't think I ever told you this.
You showed everyone my ring before me.
Yeah, there's this lady who, I say lady, sounds like she's old. She's probably like 26. She was the one that I usually went to, that usually helped me. Yeah, the phlebotomist that usually helped me when I was donating plasma. And I had kind of talked to her here and there about like proposing or whatever. And so I get into the room where you're donating plasma, and I was like, guess what? And I pulled out the ring and I showed it to her, and she like screamed and she's freaking out and stuff. And I was like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I don't even know for sure yet. You know, I already have the ring, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. Yeah. So the plasma process takes about an hour, and in that hour, I had planned out everything. I figured out exactly what I was going to do. At the time, I was working at McDonald's, so I wasn't making a whole lot of money, and I had bills to pay and everything, so I didn't have a whole lot of spending money. So I needed to wait until I could have extra spending money as well as have my bills paid, because I didn't want to get myself screwed over financially just to propose. So I was looking at my calendar, and I decided that May 17th, so this is about a month in advance, I decided that May 17th was right after my car payment and my phone payment and after insurance and everything, and I decided that was, I got paid that day, so I was like, I'll have the extra spending money. I was looking up on my phone just a bunch of different, I was looking up like fanciest restaurants in Utah. And
Google search.
Yep. So I decided the Melting Pot, and because she had told me that she had been there once before, yeah. And I had never been inside, but I'd walked past, and it looked really, really fancy. And I looked on their website, and they had a bunch of like really, really nice pictures of it and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it with these guys. First, I called my work, and I made sure that I could get May 17th off. I said that I needed May 17th off. And then I called the Melting Pot, and I made the reservation, and I bought this package so this package that I bought, it was supposed to get us this place, I can't remember what it was called, it was like Romance Alley or something. There's this place in the Melting Pot called Romance Lane or something like that, where you just like sit down in like a secluded spot where you're like by yourself, and it's got like a single lamp hanging down from the ceiling. And the package I bought came with just like a little bouquet of 3 roses on the table. And
there's pictures on Instagram if you guys want to check that out.
Yeah, I don't remember what else. So I basically,
there was like the drinks.
Yeah, it came with it normally came with champagne, but since we don't drink it, I actually saved $20 in getting like sparkling raspberry juice.
Above the influence.
Yeah. They had raspberry, strawberry, cherry, so I picked raspberry because I knew that was her favorite.
It's my favorite.
And it came with a 4-course meal. It was
so yummy.
It was really, really good.
So good.
Really expensive. Definitely not an every week kind of thing, but definitely worth it. Yeah, it came with a yeah, I'll get into that.
Very romantic.
So then I called my photographer, and I set that up with her. I was like, hey, I have the date set. We still need to go look and see exactly where we're gonna do this at daybreak. So I was like, I was stressing about that a little bit, so I had to get that out of the way. And then I decided I was going to call her work. She works in a credit union with a bunch of girls, so I was like, there's no way that this is going to fly. Like, they're going to know something's up. And I knew I couldn't tell them that I was going to propose, because there's no way.
And I mean, like, we're all friends, so they knew, like, that we've been ring shopping.
Yeah,
like,
there's no way they're... Because this is a month in advance, you know, and I can't. It's not like I can't ask, or it's not like I can ask the week before and be like, hey, I need her to have this day off, because then that's not how her schedule works, you know. I have to ask in advance. But so I called and I was like, hey, I need Maddie to have May 17th off, and they were like, oh, what is it for? And I was like, nothing. Just make sure. Just make sure she has the 17th off. And prior to this, she had been asking for her birthday off as well, and the lady that did the scheduling was like, hey, so you do realize that if I give her the 17th off, she's not gonna be able to have her birthday off. And I was like, yeah, that's alright. Like, I'm sure that what I have planned will be worth it to her, that she'll be okay with working on her birthday. because she has this day off.
They all knew.
Yeah, they all
knew what was going on.
They weren't completely sure because I didn't tell them, but
they were very excited for my day off.
Yeah, they kept on saying like, "Oh, you're gonna get proposed to," and she'd tell me that, and I was like, "That's weird. Why would they think that?"
Okay, so this time was actually a little bit like dramatic for me. And kind of on us, I don't know, because I was just so excited. Like, I knew what ring I was getting. I had seen it, I had touched it and worn it. So I was just like, ah! And I was just so excited. Like, I don't know. And when you're young like we are, people kind of don't take you that seriously when you talk about stuff like this. And I was just tired of people being like, oh, like you're just getting your hopes up. You guys probably aren't even going to get married. And I'm like, yes, we are. So I was so excited. And it wasn't happening. I was like, oh my gosh, why is it not happening? And like, I would like complain to him like, oh my gosh, we're never getting engaged. Not in like a pushy way. I don't know, maybe a little pushy.
It was pretty pushy.
Okay, it was pushy, sorry. But like, I don't know, I was just like stressed about it and I was just so excited. And I don't know. People kept like saying things like, oh, you're going to get engaged soon, or Christian's going to propose on your birthday, or Christian's going to propose on your day off. And so I would just get myself so excited, and I was so worried that I was going to like build up this excitement and be thinking like, oh my gosh, he's going to propose tonight, and then he wouldn't, and I would just hate life. So I did have sort of an idea from all my girls at work, you know, telling me that it was going to happen and like getting excited for me. And of course my hopes were up. I wanted it to happen, but I like was trying to tell myself that there was no way. Like I was like, no, he is not proposing tonight. There's no way, because I did not want to set myself up for disappointment. So a lot of my friends and family were, you know, really pushing like, didn't you know, like when he told you to dress up, like when you guys were going out? But like we go out on a pretty regular basis. Like I love getting dressed up with him. Like we both really like going out and having nice dates. So it wasn't really that uncommon. And he's a very romantic person. He loves getting me excited and surprising me. So I really didn't know. I really didn't know if it was just going to be a super nice date, if he, you know, wanted to throw me off course or what was going on. But I was not convinced that it was going to happen that night. I was prepared. I made sure I looked good just in case. But I didn't know.
So I still needed to figure out exactly what was going on with the secret photographer. And at this point, like, Daybreak Park is pretty big where the lake is. We had walked around what I thought was basically the whole thing. And there's little docks everywhere. And that's kind of what I had been planning on, was on the dock and having her, like, be far away, like in some weeds or something, looking through. And so I had gone by myself later that day and just skateboarded around the whole place, or at least what I thought was the whole place. And just looked at, there's a few specific docks that I was like, okay, this one would work pretty well. And she was like, oh, I have a spot in mind. So I was excited to see where exactly she thought. And she had asked if I had been to the very back of it. And I was like, yeah, I think so. So a couple days later, yeah,
it's really big.
A couple days later, we meet up and we were just talking. She was like, yeah, let me take you to this place. I'll show you where I think would be cool. And so we get in her car and she drives me to very, very far back, where it's actually not even connected. The only way it's connected is through the water, but there's no like sidewalk connection. So that's why I wasn't able to find it. But there's like an actual really, really big. So what she had decided was that she's gonna bring her boyfriend and her son and have them and just like sit on this park bench and just be like taking pictures of her boyfriend and her son playing in the sand, you know, when in all reality she's taking pictures of us. And I was like, all right, like she gave me a pretty good discount on it, so I was willing to. Basically the only thing I was worried about in my head, even if everything went completely wrong, as long as I had one shot of me down on one knee actually proposing with her actual reaction, not blurry, like a good actual picture, then I was satisfied.
Yeah.
I was willing to pay the money just for that one picture.
Yeah.
She told me exactly when I needed to be there for lighting purposes and everything, and where we needed to stand, and at what angle we needed to stand. So I was like, okay, we can do that.